right, we'll kick things off with Joe Kayada.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Joe.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Give me 1 second. I'm just trying.
Yeah, no.
So I guess the first question, I have a couple questions for you. The first one is just like your thoughts on the start to the season so far. How are you guys feeling? 4-1, pretty good start.
Yeah, we're excited. Not really sure what we were expecting. We have a younger group than we've ever had really here, and so sometimes you worry about it. But our enthusiasm has certainly made up for a lot of mistakes, as well as our speed, and our goaltending has been outstanding. I mentioned it last week. You're really not going anywhere without that. So it's a nice recipe to have when you've got two guys back there that can really make up for some of our youthful mistakes, and then on the same token, have some speed up there in front of them, with all of our youth.
And then dating back to last season, you guys ended last year really high. I think you're like winners of 16 of the last 17. How much can that carry over from last year? You mentioned younger guys. Was there a carryover from last year's play into this year?
I think there's a bit of that. I mean, I think that there's some unfinished business for some of our guys. I think that we were really riding a nice wave there, and guys were fully invested and very excited about where we were going. And so, we've got a core group of guys here, and it's not the team by any means, but I would say half the team that was here last year, and they got to experience winning, for an extended period of time and became pretty close. And I think it certainly does carry over in some respects to this year, and how exciting that is.
And then just one more for me. The final one is just, how would you say things are going? Like just this COVID season, shortened season, playing the same three teams, practicing in Pawtucket, playing games in Marlboro. Was this what you expected this year to be like? And how has things transpired for you as a coach?
It's a challenge, but at the same token, it seems to be going okay. I mean, I can't say that it's something where we wake up every day and we've got to just battle through this. It's really not like that. I think one thing that really helps us out is the fact that we are young and guys are really excited to play and learn. And it doesn't necessarily matter to them whether we're in the dunk or we're at the Garden or if we're at Lynch. They're able to get out in the ice and hone their skills and try to develop into NHL players. So that's probably the best equation for us, in a time like this when there are so many hurdles with the buses and not playing at your own rink and not to mention the testing and all that other stuff. So our youth is excited to be able to play, and I think as coaches, we soak that up. We've got an audience of guys that want to learn. I don't know if there's anything better than a coach. We just got to make sure we're not saying too much with it all and getting too excited about it. So it's certainly different. But I think for the most part, it's run, kind of how we anticipated. And I hope it's been a positive experience for everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it.
Okay, Joe.
All right, we'll send it over to Mark Diver.
Hi, Jay. Jakub Lauko looks like he's ready to go this weekend based on, his practice today.
Yeah, he was out yesterday. He felt good, and today he was a full go. So we anticipate him being in the lineup tomorrow.
Any other changes, additions for tomorrow's game in terms of personnel?
Didier was cleared as well, so we'll look to get him in tomorrow, which is exciting. I think he's been anticipating that one for a while, so it was good to see him back.
And last one for me, Sammy Aslin. Last year came up for a few games. Now this year he's here in a full-time capacity and seeing a lot of ice time. What have you seen in terms of his improvement from last year?
We're seeing a lot. He's a great example of someone that took full advantage of playing a lot of hockey, in the East Coast League last year and playing in a lot of situations and a lot of minutes. And he went at it full bore, and I think we're seeing the natural progression of the development. And he's come in here, and he's not playing 8 minutes a night. He's playing 15 to 20 minutes a night, and he's playing center, he's playing wing, he's killing, he's on the power play, and he's actually one of our best faceoff guys thus far. So he's been I can't say he's been a pleasant surprise, because I think we really liked the player. Even when he was here last year, he played 5 games for us last year. He had 3 points. We were just, we had a bunch of numbers, and it just was best for him to play down there. So by no means are we surprised, but we're certainly excited, to see him, in his progression. And he's tenacious on the puck. He's got some speed. He's got some offensive acumen, and at the same token, he's pretty good in his own end, and he's really grasped all the concepts we've thrown at him. So he's been a terrific guy for us, really in a lot of different ways.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we'll take it over to Patrick Williams.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Oscar Steen and where you see his development at right now.
Technical difficulties. Oscar Steen, another great example of just another younger player who's got another year on his belt. And I think he's picked up a half step. He looks quicker to me, plays in all situations, had a real nice goal there the other night. An NHL shot, to be honest with you, off the rush. He's playing center right now, which is where he finished last year. But he's certainly been kind of on the wing as well at certain times of the games. I'm not sure exactly where that will land with him, at the next level. But it's nice to be able to do both, frankly. And then, for me, the biggest thing with Steener is he's tenacious, forever the competitor. He's fired up today in today's practice, and butchering a stick, and that's just the way he is. He's got that just inner drive that we're really starting to see through. So he's an exciting guy, as a prospect, and he's really probably one of our top guys down here as a forward that we lean on, quite heavily.
And then in a more general sense, there's been a lot of talk lately with players, and this doesn't really affect Providence as much, but players who might have to go back to junior because of the CHL rule. As a coach, where do you see the advantages or disadvantages for players that have established themselves here and now have to go back a level?
I can only really speak for our experiences with, your underage player. I think we had would be considered an underage guy last year, and then I think Vax was maybe a couple years higher. I think it's very individualized. I think with Laux, we had to make sure we had the proper living situation for him, and really, we have to understand that he is very young and in a man's game, and you have to protect him. I think his skill set certainly was there, in that he could compete at this level. But at the end of the day, he's still a boy playing a man's game, and he can get hurt. So I tread lightly with it. I don't know if there's an exact right answer to it. I think Laux or someone like that probably deserves to play at this level. But at the same token, it's got to be done in the right way with regards to what he's exposed to. This is obviously a different season, but in a regular season with the 3-and-3s and the late bus trips and the fact that you're playing some teams that have some big bodies, you really have to make sure you're not putting these players in situations where they can get hurt, because they get hurt. It was certainly something that we tried to prevent, with him and with Vax. So I don't know. I tend to think that if you're playing and you're comfortable playing, for a certain amount of time, you're better off, and then you can slowly kind of increase the exposure, and then all of a sudden you're properly developed. My fear would be if you give too much too quickly, you can do a lot of harm with regards to even their mental game, or really in the physical game as well, just if they're not ready. So it's a fine line. I don't know if there's an exact answer to it. I know those are very much the concerns I had and would continue to have with younger players like that.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we'll go to Fluto Shinzawa.
Hey, Jay, I have two questions about
Sure.
Urho.
Yep.
First of all, younger than Jeremy and Jakob, but kind of in a similar career segment, but certainly a different defender in his own right. How
Yep.
would you put him in his own bucket versus how Jeremy defends and versus how Zaburo defends?
I don't love to do this, but I would say he's a hybrid of the two. Let's see. How would I say that? Yeah, he certainly has the desire to defend and close quickly in his own zone. And then I think at the same token, he's got the ability to move pucks like a Zaboro. You could argue that the two other guys maybe have a little bit more of a specialty in each of those, and Vax might be kind of blending the two a little bit. And again, he is a little younger, so it's tough for me to really project that. But I think he's a bit of a hybrid. I think he's someone who can skate well. He handles his pucks well. I thought he was really pretty solid in that game in Tahoe, showing exactly what he is. Good in transition, was good off the rush. Offensively, he actually looked like he was in on the rush on a couple things. So comparing players is never very easy. To be honest, it's tricky. The player himself, I think, is certainly someone that can transport pucks, can defend, and as he grows a little bit older and stronger, he'll be more effective in both those areas, as well as having some confidence on that offensive blue line.
Okay. Then the other question I had was Butch was talking a little bit today about, especially at the start of practice, he noticed he needs a little bit of time to get the motor revving, and that's something that you got to be ready from the drop. So if that kicks in, the experience kicks in, the overall perhaps hardness on the puck all align with his skill set, what do you think Urho could develop into? What is his ceiling?
Well, I think he has top four, potential. He's played on the power play with us, not specifically as the number one power play guy, but he's certainly done it. He's pretty good on his strong side coming down the wall. Scored a couple goals that way. Last year down the stretch when we were really cranking and he was really in it, he was one of our top guys along with Z, and Jeremy might have been gone by then. So again, he's young. I think he's a 99, and he's certainly on the path to being a 20-minute guy in the NHL. I could say that. I think, what was he, 23 the other night? So he's certainly there. And I don't really like to put a cap on it. I think sometimes you see Mark Giordano was 36 when he was the best defenseman in the NHL, so it takes a little bit longer with D-man, but he's got all the tools. As Butchie says, he's really good when he gets excited, and I think he's a pretty good, when the team's cranking, he gets really excited about it. It's kind of infectious. Finns are historically a little quieter, or maybe just a little bit, I'm not even sure the word, platonic, but at least tough to read to start. But once he starts to get excited and be around the guys, you can really see it comes out of him, and he has some fun, and then he's starting to feel it, and before you know it, he looks like a top four, So I think there's a lot of potential. I think they were pretty excited to see how he did. It looked like a great atmosphere, and he seemed to really take to that. hopefully he keeps to continue to grow and into that mold that we're hoping for.
Have you had to pull that energy out of him?
Yeah, I can't say that I've found the magic formula. Other than the fact that I shouldn't say that. I think that when he's playing with guys that kind of drag him in a little bit, fight that's really where I've seen him at his best. So, with us, if he's with Didier or if he was playing his offsides with Losey or something along those lines, you see it there and probably up there. When he gets moving and skating the puck and if Charlie's giving him the puck and he's getting kind of excited, you'll see it. That's where I've seen it. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but that's probably the best I've seen out of him.
Okay. Thank you, Jay.
You got it.
All right, we'll head over to Gary Azira.
Jay, I only have one question for you. I just want to get your thoughts on Freddie getting his first NHL goal in Tahoe on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I think like everyone in this organization, Freddie's a special guy, and we certainly root for him and along with all of our other kids. But Fred's just got that kind of childlike love of the game that I think you see through the TV and through everything. So I was very excited. I think I bet you that kid got a lot of text messages that night and the next morning, I can tell you, from a lot of different coaches and players and teammates and all that. So we're very excited for Fred and all of our guys, but certainly Freddie comes in the rink every day, the same attitude. He says hi to every single one of us. He's the constant sort of, whether he's a big brother or a little brother, he's your brother. We were very excited for him to net that. I know he was looking for that for a while.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Jay.
Sure, guys.